Hey there. Welcome to my favorite part of a day well spent on the ice, and that's cooking your catch. So, my name's Sean Good. I'm a fisheries biologist with the Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department. I'm going to show you today a really simple, very basic way to prepare any perch or panfish or crappie or anything like that that you caught while you were out ice fishing. So this is a straightforward breading recipe that we're going to pan fry on the stove in a cast iron pan. I'm just going to show you the basic simple ingredients, how to assemble it, and how to cook it. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to take our panfish fillets that we've already got cleaned and rinsed, and we're going to dry them off with some paper towel. This is important because it lets your flour and breadcrumb coating stick to the fish fillets a little bit better. So just pat them with some paper towel, make sure they're nice and dry, pat both sides. So I've already got some flour, basic white flour, ready to go here. I'm going to show you what I like to use as a basic breading. It's really quite simple. You can use anything that you like for your own preference, but this is what I typically do. I like to take a little bit of Italian breadcrumbs, just sprinkle them into a bowl. Then the next thing is panko crumbs. These things are something that are already cooked and they're crispy, and when you mix them in with the breadcrumbs, it's going to give your fish kind of a nice little crunch at the end. So I'm just going to stir that around a little bit, mix the breadcrumbs with the panko crumbs. And then this is totally up to your own taste, but you can add a little bit of seasoning if you want. I usually put 1 or 2 teaspoons of oregano in there. And if you like the flavoring, I like some paprika as well. So I'm just going to sprinkle some paprika in there. Again, take a fork, kind of stir it around a little bit, make sure all those ingredients are well combined. Alright, so the next step is you're going to need to make an egg wash. And this is what's going to allow your bread coating to bind with the fish. So it's basically just like making scrambled eggs. You crack a couple of eggs into a bowl. A little bit of milk, just a splash. You can use water as well. And then take your fork and just get it nice and mixed up. Make sure you break those yolks. Combine the whites and the yolk real well so there's no real clumps or globs. Make it fairly smooth. You can use a whisk for this as well. Blend it up real good. Alright. So to start, we're going to take our dried fish fillets. We're just going to dredge them in a little bit of white flour. I like to coat them a little bit like this. And just shake the excess free. You want that flour to set up a little bit. So I don't like going straight into the egg wash from there. I'll put them on a plate. Just get that nice white flour coating on there. And this is going to allow your egg wash to stick to the fish fillet as well. This is a mix of perch, yellow perch, and crappie that I caught ice fishing yesterday. Alright, good. So, this is where it gets a little bit messy and gummy. Don't worry about it. Your fingers will be, just rinse them off afterwards. But so the next step, take your dredged fillets and you're just going to, again, real quick, dip them right into that egg wash. And again, similar to the flour, you want to let that drip off a little bit, get the excess off. And then I go straight from there into my breadcrumb mix that I prepared earlier. So again, I'm just going to stir this around with my fingers a little bit, make sure it's good and coated on both sides, pat it down a little bit, shake any loose crumbs off, and then lay that on the plate. I'll go to my next fillet, and we're just going to repeat that for all the fillets. Again, make sure it's not really sopping wet as it goes into the breadcrumb mixer. Let that drip a little bit back into the bowl. Lay it down on one side, flip it over, tap it down just a little bit. Alright, these are looking good. Egg wash, shake it off. Some people will put their fillets into a Ziploc or some sort of plastic Rubbermaid type container with the breadcrumbs after they've dipped them, and then just coat them all at once just by zipping the bag up or putting a lid on the Tupperware and shaking it. I like to do them one at a time individually. I just think they get coated a little bit better that way. Alright. I'm actually going to take these fried fillets and we'll make them as fish tacos, which is really, really good. Put them in a little soft flour tortilla, some avocado, red onions, some cheese, whatever your favorite toppings are. Squeeze a lime. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. After you've done up your fish, you always have egg and breadcrumb on your fingers, so I'm just going to go over to the sink, get that off. Here we have our breaded fish fillets all ready to go into the frying pan. Once your oil has been going for a couple of minutes, you want to make sure that it's going to be hot enough to cook the fish. Otherwise, you put your fish in and it'll just sit there in the oil and not cook, and it'll get kind of soaked with oil. You want to make sure that the oil is hot enough so that the coating starts to crisp up right away. A good way to test that is to just get a little bit of water on your finger, flick it into the pan. If it starts sizzling and popping like that, you know it's ready for the fish. We're going to go ahead and put the fish in. We're just going to lay them in there one at a time, and you should see that they start to sizzle immediately when you do that. That's how you know your oil is nice and hot. It's not going to take long. We're going to let these go for about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, but we'll check them to make sure. And again, don't overcrowd the fish either. That's important. Give it some room. Let the oil get around the individual fillets and start doing its work to crisp up that breading. I'm just going to let that cook 1 or 2 minutes. We'll check, make sure that it's getting crispy on the one side before we flip it over. Alright, it's been going for a couple of minutes, so we're just going to gently flip these over. Oh yeah, nice and golden brown on that side. You can feel it as you turn them. But that side has now developed a nice crisp to it. So we're just going to gently turn all the pieces over here. Make sure that they're cooked on one side. We'll let them go for another 1.5 minutes or so on that side. Crisp up the final side before we take them away. So as those were just finishing up the other side, I'm going to grab another plate, put some paper towel down. It's an important step. We're going to check the doneness on the other side. They've been going for a little over 1 minute. They look perfect. So we're just going to take them out of the oil, transfer them to the plate with paper towel on it. That paper towel will just sort of absorb any excess oil that might be on it. You don't want a soggy, greasy piece of fish. You want that nice, light, flaky fillet to come through. And it's important to just to make sure that the surface of the fish is not too soggy. So I'm just going to take another piece of paper towel. Yeah, I can feel that. The panko crumbs did their job perfectly as it cooked in that hot oil. Combined with the breadcrumbs, it crisped up nicely. So, here we go. Got our nice white flaky meat inside a crispy coating of breadcrumbs and panko crumbs. Now you can eat that with any type of flavor that you want. You can do some homemade tartar sauce with mayonnaise, sweet relish, and a little squeeze of lemon juice. Or you can do what we're going to do tonight. Put them in soft flour tortillas with some sour cream, salsa, sliced avocado, sliced red onion, squeeze of lime, some shredded cheese. We'll have fish tacos. These things are the perfect way to eat fish tacos. Everybody thinks you have to go to the South, the Caribbean, the ocean to have fish tacos. Not true. Vermont yellow perch or crappie or any sunfish of your choice makes amazing fish tacos. So thanks for watching, everybody, today. I hope you get out this winter and get some ice fishing done. And don't be afraid to keep some of our local, sustainable, healthy fish for a nice meal. Cook it up, very simple, pan-fried on the stove, and you'll have a great meal for your family. Thanks for watching.